The tablets have been a very good thing here in the correctional complex, and it's becoming very popular in corrections for multiple reasons. We've actually had them now for about 2 months now, and we actually did something. Some facilities do this differently. We actually have received a tablet for every inmate in the population, so we have enough that we can do a one-for-one tablet system. Currently available on those tablets, they're able to communicate with friends and family through secure messaging. So it would be very similar to a text. And the benefit for them is it can be a very lengthy text that would be cheaper than sending a letter and via the mail, which is actually good for us when you talk about the drugs and those things that can come into the U.S. mail. Those things are used mostly during day shift and into the evening. They do have to charge those to make sure they keep them refreshed. Some of the things that are coming to those tablets here very soon will be their access to the legal library and law library, which is a huge benefit to the inmate population because currently we have a legal law library that an inmate maybe get an hour to research his case per day. To go into that system now, they can sit at their cell side and actually for 3 or 4 hours research legal cases and their case coming into the facility. Again, they can communicate with friends and family through those tablets. They can make phone calls through those tablets. Video visitation is an option, and we're trying to determine now if we're going to do that here in Dauphin County. That would allow, I think the good thing about video visitation is maybe having someone that lives in another state while you're incarcerated and really a long distance of travel, and having that ability to actually see your family and friend through those secure messages. So that's something we're looking at as an option. That capability is already existing on the tablets. They could not go to their cell side or areas like that. They would actually have to dock those into a docking station if they're doing video visitation at a location determined by us for obvious security reasons. They also have other capabilities. They can stream music on those if they choose to do so. But another big portion of those is there's educational programs on. So you can go on and do life skills programs, learn how to balance a checkbook, learn how to do a multitude of things. Our counselors can actually put learning tools on those tablets so they can have more resources to education as well. And, I think what you'll find and hear from any correctional facility that's using these, violence goes down because the individuals are occupied and they have something to occupy their day. They're a good tool for us as well in trying to keep violence and problems down in the jail. Obviously, if you have a child that you're ever taking an iPhone away from, it's a very similar concept in the correctional system. It's something that they enjoy. They feel that it's a reward to have those tablets, and they're utilizing them in big ways. If you talk to our staff members who probably at first were very hesitant when you hear that an inmate's getting a tablet, as I was as a warden the first time I heard that tablets were coming into correctional facilities, but the staff members have realized how much it's made their job easier as well because they're engaged in an activity and doing some things other than maybe arguing with another inmate or a staff member. So they've been a very good tool for us here in the correctional facility. Those are used over secure Wi-Fi. They cannot access anything like Google or go to the web. They can only use the resources that we allow them to have. So there's no way for them to get out with those into the community and do anything like that. To this point, we've only had 1 or 2 examples of where we have actually had to take a tablet from an inmate. That's because they were damaging it. They either purposely tried to destroy the tablet by either breaking the screen or something like that. And I believe that's only been 1 or 2 people. Most of them really enjoy it and like it as a resource. And for us, it's a good tool too. When you look at re-entry into the community, if an individual wants to go work at McDonald's or any other agency for that matter, you do everything on a touchscreen. Everything's done by a tablet now. So from that educational standpoint and even going back into our community, if someone's incarcerated for 2 years here, just imagine how much our technology changes in 2 years in the community and having that technology. So when they go back as a re-entrant in the community, that they have had those resources and education on how to use those things. So we're actually in the process of getting a system. It's also an electronic device for our staff. They're actually used. It's a iPod Touch device, and those will track many things here in our correctional facility. Number one, our staff security rounds. So when a staff member is required to make so many rounds on a housing unit to check for security and safety issues, rather than going back to a piece of paper, which I could write whatever I want to on that, it's actually going to be documented based off of that person's walk through the facility. And it actually assists the staff in getting more things done and being with the population more, because now I don't have to go back to that log. When I scan that device, it goes into a system and tells me that they were there. If something happened to that officer or there were delays in those rounds being done, a supervisor will immediately be alerted so that they can go and check on the officer and make sure that they didn't fall ill or were taken hostage or any of those different facets of things that could happen. Other things that can help us do is track inmates' well-being. So if we have someone on a watch, like a suicide watch, those Q codes can be put on doors. You scan the door and you scan the activity that person's doing at the time. And that gives immediate feedback that we're doing those rounds and that they were at that cell side and making sure that person's safe. So they can also do head count. So if an individual goes to court, we scan their wristband, which an inmate will have, and document them as out to court. We know where that individual's at till they return back to the facility. So it's an immediate tracking device of all the inmates as well. It's a very good tool. It cuts down on a lot of paperwork, puts things in a format where we immediately can see things are. County IT department and that corporation is actually working now, setting everything up in our computer system to get those things rolled out. And then obviously we'll have some training and learning curves. The good thing about them is they are, as I said, an iPod touch device. So most of our staff members are probably carrying an iPhone or a Samsung device. So the learning curve in those is very, very easy. And some of the other things that we can put in those is alerts. So if an inmate falls ill and we scan their wristband, it could notify a staff member that they have cardiovascular issues or something like that. So immediately we would know that this person has a certain type of alert without violating any HIPAA or anything like that. We would have easy access to those types of things. It actually comes to no cost to us. It was part of our inmate telephone contract. Many organizations are using this, and the State Department of Corrections included, are using that as a part of that phone contract with many organizations.
And that's both the iPads and okay.
Yeah, so we really assume no cost on that. Now, obviously, if they break or we have damage and things like that, we'll have to deal with that issue.